Hello, and welcome to the Pest Control Marketing Podcast with your host, me, Hal Coleman, uncensored and unplugged. Pay attention, take lots of notes, because you're going to find out exactly how to get more new customers, more referrals, and grow your business.
Hal Coleman has been active in the pest control industry for over 40 years, including owning and operating his own successful pest control business for 18 years. He now devotes his time to helping other PCOs and other WCOs double, triple, and even quadruple their businesses faster than they ever imagined. Be sure to check out his website, pestcontrolmarketer.com. For more information about Hal's coaching program, you can reach him at 770-993-0004 or email him hal@halcoleman.com. Mike Stewart is known as the Internet audio and video guy. Since the birth of the Internet, Mike has been showing small business owners how to get more new customers, increase their sales, and grow their businesses online using audio and video, now with iPhones and Android phones. For more information about Mike's coaching program and his online training courses, visit MikeStewartCoaching.com or email him mike@internetaudioguide.com.
Well, hello, boys and girls. This is Hal Coleman here with another episode of the Pest Control Marketing Podcast, along with my sidekick, Mike Stewart. I hope you're there, Mike. Are you?
Yes, sir. I'm here today. I'm looking forward to our conversation, as always.
Well, me too. It's like you having a good day today?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Every day I get up is a good day.
Well, there you go. I know the feeling. Well, listen, Mike, I'm going to talk about something today that it's a subject that I had to live with for many years, owning a pest control company. And at one time I had 10 employees when I sold my business. And I don't think you've had as many employees as I have through the years, but I want to talk about recruiting today because it's a big issue. All of my clients are dealing with this issue. You know, back in 10 years ago, in 2008, when we were sliding off into that big recession, tons of people were out of jobs. They were getting laid off. Businesses were closing up. And I began doing volunteer work at the big church here, teaching people how to get hired. And we had hundreds of people there, 2 workshops a month. And I've still been doing that for 10 years now, 2 workshops a month for people in job transition. But back then, all you had to do was put up a help wanted sign, and you just had floods of people showing up because there were so many people out of work. But now, let's fast forward 10 years to now. Here we are, September the 7th, 2018. What I hear from the small business community a lot now is that there are people are hiring, and so there's a lot of jobs available. So there's not as many people out there in job transition because jobs are coming available everywhere. And so people are going back to work. So the struggle that a lot of my clients are having right now is I can't find anybody. I need help. I need to hire a technician. I need to hire somebody and train them, and I can't find anybody. You know, I have a few that show up and answer my ads, but they're worthless candidates, you know, for one reason or the other. So what I want to talk about is how to find good people. Now, the worst thing that can happen to us a lot of times, and it happens to everybody, if you're a one-man operator and you have no employees and you plan to live out your career and retire without ever having an employee, then you won't be concerned with this, but most are not. And my clients hire me because they want to grow their businesses and they want to be hiring employees and getting bigger and bigger. So, what you want to do is 3 things. These 3 things are absolutely essential if you want to get good employees. And those 3 things are recruit, and recruit. You have to do all 3 of those. You need to look at your pest control business or whatever home business you're in. If you're listening to this podcast and you're a plumber, electrician, if you're have a legal firm, if you have a dog grooming business, or if you have a shoe store and you have employees, it doesn't matter. You need to look at your business as if it were a professional baseball team. A baseball team or any sports team, they're recruiting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, year round. 365 days a week they're recruiting. They're going out there looking for people. They're trying to find people because they know that the players they have on the field right now playing the games are not permanent. They're temporary. No employee is permanent. They're all temporary. One may stay with you for 2 weeks. Another one may stay with you for 25 years. But at some point, you're going to wake up one day and they're not going to be there. So, for instance, if you have one of your right-hand man or woman in your business comes up to you Monday morning and says, look, my spouse is getting transferred to Phoenix, and we're going to be moving in 90 days, and I got to leave here. Or you get the call that one's had a heart attack, and they're down at the morgue. You don't know. And when that happens, and you've got a whole route out there waiting to be serviced, and now you just found out that the guy that runs that route or the girl that runs that route is gone. What do? You go into a total panic. And most people just, at that point in time, they start looking for help. They say, well, I got to have some help. So they start putting want ads out there and ads on the internet and going into a panic trying to find help. And they're really under the gun. They realize they're losing money every day because stuff is not getting serviced. And so they typically will hire the first person that says, yeah, I can go to work for you, which is not their ideal candidate. And it ends up being somebody that doesn't work out. When you're under pressure, you make bad decisions. So recruit. I would suggest that you set aside a half a day a month. You say the last Thursday in every month from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock to interview candidates and have help wanted ads out there on the internet, local newspapers. Put the word out to your client base is a great place to find a good candidate, and start taking in applications. And when you get one, you call people on the phone, talk to them, and say, we don't have the position available right this minute, but I'm working on our next position. And you can tell them, say, it may, whatever your time frame is, you may say, we're going to have something in about 90 days, or we're going to hire somebody this spring, but we're looking for our next candidate, whatever reason. If they pass the telephone interview process with you and you want to take it further, then you set up a one-on-one meeting with them. And if they like you and you like them and they really want to go to work for your company, they'll wait. If they're working now already, which a lot of them are, they're just not happy where they're working, so they're looking for a better job. They'll wait. And even if they take another job, and they want to go to work for you, when you call them, they'll leave that job and come to work for you. So, but it's really nice when somebody comes in and says, I'm not going to be working here anymore, I quit. Or you have to fire somebody, and they walk out the door and they leave, and you pick up the phone, you open your drawer, you pull out your applications, you pick up the phone, and you make a phone call and say, hey, Bob, I've got that opening for you now. You ready to go to work for me? And they say, yes. And it's so simple. You've already got the players on the bench, like the ball team. There's a whole bench full of people waiting for the phone call. And and it gives you a lot of leverage over your employees, because if your employees know that you recruit and that you have standbys waiting, it gives them an incentive to really perform at a higher level, because it's like, they look over on the bench and they say, well, there's people ready to get in the game here. So it really can take the pressure. It not only can take the pressure, it will take the pressure off of you and your business if you constantly recruit and have a list of people waiting to go to work for you. It can save you a lot of heartache, a lot of grief, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of money by having those people waiting. And another good place to find employees is in your customer base. You should have a flyer, a we're hiring flyer that you give out to all of your customers and let them all know that you're looking for help. Now, the reason the customers are good is because they will do a lot of screening for you. You see, if they know that Fred Johnson's 22-year-old son down there is out of work and looking for a job, but they know he just got off of his third drug arrest and his fourth DUI conviction, and he's been in jail 3 times in the last 18 months, and he's a troublemaker, and they're not going to tell him that you're looking for help, you see. But now, because whoever they recommend to you is a direct reflection on them, so they will screen out one. You don't get that luxury when people answer your ad because they call you on the phone and all you know is what they sound like. So let your customers know that you're looking for additions to your team. And a lot of times your customer will be the one that comes up with a good prospect for you to hire. Now, something else, this is a big mistake people make when they're recruiting, is they post a job. Say, job available. We're hiring. We have a job. And you know what? When you advertise a job, you're going to get people who are looking for a job. Versus if you advertise a career, you're going to get responses from people who are looking for a career. And me personally, I want people who are looking for a career to go to work for me and help me build a business and grow and become a manager or a salesperson, general manager, supervisor, work their way on up as I grow my business. I'm not looking for somebody that just wants a paycheck, wants to show up every day. And that's what a lot of jobs are. So when you advertise, make sure you advertise an exciting career with opportunities for advancement and increases in pay and benefits increase. So you got to advertise a career, not a job, if you want to get good people. And I have some people who say, I advertise and I just get these lines of idiots showing up to want to go to work for me. I wouldn't hire them for anything. And I said, well, what are you advertising? Well, they're just advertising a job, so people respond who are just looking for a job. Advertise a career and let them know that it's something that they can sink their teeth into and sink their future into with you to help you build your business. So recruit. You can't ever stop recruiting. So you got a good team now. You got employees. You got the best employees you've ever had. There's not a problem in the world. Everything's running like a fine oil machine. You need to be recruiting because every single employee that you have, from the bottom right on up to the top, right on up to the general manager and the vice president, if your company is that big, their replacement needs to be one phone call away at all times, because you don't ever know when they're not going to show up. They're going to move away. They're going to get mad and quit. They're going to wrap around a telephone pole on their way to work. God forbid, but you can at any day your best employee you can wake up and find out they're not with you anymore. And you're really screwed if you don't have anybody to replace them. So their replacement, everybody's replacement, needs to be one phone call away with people you've already interviewed and are already waiting to go to work for you. If you will do that, it will be so beneficial to your company and to you. You'll sleep better. You'll have less stress, less anxiety. You'll have much less money lost and wasted time trying to find some human body to plug into this vacant position that you have that you're panicked over. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Mike, are you there?
Yes, sir. That was enlightening. My only 2 cents I can add is I was not a great boss. I had employees. I had a couple employees, and that's what attracted me to my online businesses, is because then it's down to me. But you know what? In the pest control world, I see you've got to have a team of dedicated, career-minded individuals, and you've got to do whatever it takes to get the best team possible, and that just seems so logical, and you can't let emotion make your decisions, I would assume. We might ought to do a show. We might ought to do a show one day just on employee management. Okay.
That would be good too, because that's something that a lot of my coaching clients struggle with also, and I struggled with it too. But anyway,
I got to share the one time I had an employee. You might remember Jimmy, who used to work for me. He was a guitar player, audio engineer at my studio back in the day.
Yeah.
And Jimmy could never show up on time. I mean, it just drove me nuts. This is when sessions started. I just need you to be here on time. And I'll never forget. I mean, I got to the point I started laying out catalogs with time clocks on the front office to kind of give him a message that I was going to get a time clock, punch in time clock. And I'll never forget the morning he came with donuts. And he said, "I'm sorry I'm late, but here's donuts." Like that was going to, and I said, "Look, Jimmy, I don't need the donuts." And you blew 15 minutes, which made you even later than you are, go and get donuts. And I just thought, my gosh, I need to fire this guy. But I hated it. And when I look back on it, God knows how much money he cost me by not really having a dedicated employee. So anyway, that's my humorous story that's why I'm Mr. Online. I understand that when it comes to pest control, you got to be Mr. Offline with all these kind of experiences that you had over the years, managing and recruiting the right kind of people to make your team successful.
Well, bottom line, I managed and recruited all the wrong ones in those days, back in those early days. Yeah, but I gradually got the message and gradually learned the lesson the hard way. But anyway, Mike, I got to get out of here, and you probably got stuff to do too. But
I got to leave people. You said learn lessons. Well, you know what? You can learn a lot from Hal Coleman. Call him at 770-993-0004 and get that free hour. I mean, we keep telling you, he's a phone call away to see. You're hearing in this podcast the wisdom of all the things that Hal has from his years of owning that pest control agency. I was there, and remember when I was the guy who told you need to get a website, and that was, 15, 18 years ago.
Yeah, and I was the guy that told you needed to start networking.
Yeah, so you know what? We're kind of like Reese cups, a little peanut butter and a little chocolate. We make a Reese cup.
There you go.
And call me, 770-826-3662, and I would love to talk to you about your online opportunities. We're here today, so have a great week. We'll see you next time.
And thanks for listening to this episode of the Pest Control Marketing Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Pest Control Marketing Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast in iTunes and on your phones and in Stitcher on your Android. But more importantly, go to our website, pestcontrolmarketingpodcast.com. Subscribe to our email list to always be notified of new episodes. You're never going to want to miss what we got coming up next, and you never know what we're going to be able to do to help you with your pest control marketing.